we do see different colours because it's happening all the time. As in that dress debate, people actually will say, "Yeah, I can see those colours," another person will see entirely different. And this is what happens all the time. We just don't really notice it. So again, it's the brain tricking us into believing that what we see around us is really there. But it really is, as I say, a figment of our imagination to believe that this colour is there. And in a way, it makes us question, can we really ever believe what we see if there's no such thing as colour? And as I say, I would suggest if you have any doubts about this, that you just look it up. Just look up, do a Google. Is colour an illusion of the brain? And you'll find it's a really fascinating subject because we do believe what we see, don't we? When we look at things and we get a certain comfort from certain colours. One thing I thought about when I was looking at this before was, well, what about things like paint? We might make a colour paint, a blue paint, or a multicoloured rug. So I was trying to find a question that might cause a problem with Google to answer it. But in fact, the answer to that is what we do. Apparently, there are chemical structures where people making paint, they use certain what they believe are chemicals to make that color. What it actually is, it's a chemical construction that actually absorbs every color except, say, blue, if that's the paint you want. So what then reflects back, the technical event is it reflects back the blue color. So what they make is conceivably blue. But again, the color is still the brain converting a light wave, in this case for paint. So yeah, anybody who thinks, no, this is rubbish, and a lot of people might, you'd be surprised that what the brain can do. It
Yeah.
is incredible. I mean, have you got any thoughts so far on that,
Yeah.
or do you disagree with
Yeah.
any of it?
I've just got questions. I've got questions. And I'm not asking you the questions. We're just asking the questions, aren't we? Now, if what we see isn't what it is,
Mm.
basically, basically our whole life or our whole existence could be a scam.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could
It
say
could be.
that. You could say
Yeah,
that.
it could be because if you're seeing something that isn't what it is, what
Mm.
makes you think something else that you're seeing is actually what you're seeing?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it throws up a lot of debate, don't it? Where
Mm.
you start re-examining your brain, for instance. You start re-examining everything that you've been taught, everything that you've always believed. What is the truth? You know, how can you find out what something actually is?
Mm.
And the other question is, so does it so if you so for instance, if you took 100 people and you split them into two, you got 50 on one side and 50 on the other side. Are you telling me that 100, the 50 on one side could actually see a color as being a color? So for instance, they might actually see purple as being pink, and the other group might actually see pink as being purple. Is that what this is? Could we deduct
Yeah,
that from?
absolutely. We
Yeah.
may well see different colours. No two brains are the same. We're all unique. No two people have the same eye constructions or the same ancestry, the same genetics, the same biology, the same upbringing, the same environment surface. Same environment, all the rest of it, so that we're all very unique, which is quite a thought when there's what 8 billion people plus on the earth. We're all very unique, so it stands to reason that everybody's brain will interpret the colors, the light waves of any object in a slightly different way. Some will be broadly the same, many millions will be, I guess, but there will be different shades. And humans can actually detect about 1 million different shades of color, of those shades of the spectral colors. And I think it's called, we're trichromats, TRICH, trichromats 3. Whereas most, and humans, I think, and apes and some monkeys have their trichromats. Most other mammals are dichromats, which means they only have two cones in the eye. So they don't see anything like as many colors. But we get about 1 million different shades. But interestingly, you mentioned one color of purple. Now that, again, if you look up purple, a simple question to Google, is purple a color? Is it actually an actual color? And the answer is no, it's not. It's an illusory color which the brain has created because it cannot match the different length waves which come out of the sun. It's a mixture of red and blue, believe it or not. So what the brain comes up with for most of us, for all of us, is a mixture of that which doesn't exist, but the brain does. It creates this picture that we think is purple. Now we can all think of purple. It's a bit similar, I guess, to another color called mauve, is it? And so on. But purple does not actually exist as a color, even though shades of all the other 7 colors do exist. So that's an interesting one, purple, a very illusory color, doesn't exist at all. So if you get an item of clothing, a shirt or something, purple, then you can't say it doesn't exist, but your brain is playing a trick because that color really does not exist at all. But with all of this, your brain is playing a trick. And, it just, when I've talked about the brain before, and I think we all agree it's an incredible thing and a difficult subject to navigate because it's so complicated. And indeed, although the brain has been mapped in terms of what happens and what happens where in the brain, there's still the vast majority of it we don't really understand how it works. This is a 3-pound spongy mess of water, 75 to 80% water. The rest of it is between fat and protein. So you've got 3 very ordinary, mundane substances in the language of the world we live in, and yet they create what we're doing now. They create memory.